Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. I'm sorry we have delayed or changed the timing today. I was going through some health challenge this morning. But with, of course, God's meher, Guruji's meher, all is well now. And we are going to continue from where we ended last night. If you remember, there was a lot of dialogue between mentor and disciple regarding how vital it is to let go of our inherent traits, anger, arrogance, anything that does not serve us in the larger scheme of things, or we will have to carry it to our next life. And every role play is there for a reason. So everything is a role play, mother, daughter, husband, wife, everything. So we need to actually remain calm and forgive. Forgiveness is the biggest lesson of all in our lives. And also, I feel that, never hate anyone, any race, because maybe we were Muslim in our past life, as we learned, in this chapter, which we read yesterday. Maybe we were Muslim and God is just seeing how compassionate we become towards other religions, because the light is one. The lamps are many, but the light is one. The jyot is ek hi jyot hai. So the jyot is one. So it's important to be all embracing and to be completely non-judgmental. So it is very important to exercise all that is good, exercise all the good muscles, and the bad muscles, let them go into a trophy and finally completely dissolve and disappear from our system. So it's an ongoing process of learning and loving and letting go. So it is, without further ado, we will now start reading. And thank you again for whoever's joined us. Thank you for your encouragement. And I hope we can continue reading beautiful narratives and not passing the bait to anyone, but just saying that there are many good readers out there. So, it'll be nice for you to come forward and just to start reading whatever you think is related to our spiritual growth and related and resonates with Guruji's truth and his lessons that he has come to teach us, which is a lot of simplicity. So just to recap the last verse, Rudra found himself in the room of a middle-aged woman. Now he's learning his life lessons through other people's experiences and his kind of relationship to the people who are there in his life. But he's, of course, on the other side, but he's learning from those experiences that the other people that he's related to at some level is now watching them. Now, this middle-aged woman is surrounded by a thick wall of depression and anger. And just outside the dark auric wall stood a man looking at her with such a sense of helplessness and guilt that it made Rudra shudder. The man looked at Rudra and then looked back at the woman. Baba was already present. The old man seemed to be everywhere. This is Sanjeev. He passed away from the physical plane 17 years ago. He hasn't moved or made any progress. He's what you might call earthbound. Though in reality, he has been imprisoned by his wife's grief, depression, and love. This child is his wife, Sudha. She loved him dearly. Her life stopped after he passed over suddenly due to a cardiac arrest. 17 years, 42 days, 6 hours, 14 seconds, earth time ago. He is with her all the time. She talks to him and cries for him all the time. Her grief has chained him to her. Countless such souls are chained by the so-called love of families and friends. What do you mean he has been changed, Baba? I see nothing forcefully binding him to her, Baba. Grief, guilt, ignorance, anger, lust, possessiveness. These emotions are dark clouds. They build very heavy vibrations. They do not allow the soul to move towards the light. They prevent the master's energy from merging with the individual or the spirit. Sometimes a family member, through grief or love, wraps a wall around the spirit. Take this man, for example. He doesn't want to move on with his growth and is stagnating. And trust me, that is worse than hell, as his earthly wife can't see him, but is so emotionally wrought that now she has unknowingly, through her grief, chained her spirit husband to earth. He's with her constantly, but can do nothing for her, as she has covered herself with such a dark wool of depression that all the poor man can do is be outside the wall next to her. He's rotting. What is the solution, Baba? Either he understands that each one has his or her karmic journey and allows his earthly wife to embark on the journey without worry and without putting his karmic journey on hold. Or this child Sudha lets go of the grief and gets on with her life, thus enabling her husband to move on too. That doesn't mean he will not be with her. He will, but he will also progress with his journey and keep coming and being near his wife whenever she really needs him or wants to talk to him or wants him around. But at those times, she's happy and content and getting on with her life. And thus he too gets on with his spirit world duties and thus gets closer to his real destination. Remember, in the spirit world, we are just a thought away from those who remember us. If a child remembers or calls out to his mother or father, wherever the parent is, he or she comes running to it with the child. In the spirit world, these reunions work at speeds 1,000,000 times faster, 1,000,000 times with greater intensity. The spirit keeps growing, and on its own free will, or whenever his loved one calls out, the spirit is with the loved one. Each one is moving on with life. But when the loved one doesn't let go of grief, you're forcing your departed one to be chained to you. Unless the one in the spirit plane is wise and leaves his or her loved one on earth in the loving hands of her master. You need to be wise, and you need to have surrendered on earth itself to be able to do so in the spirit world. Just to digress a little, well, not digressing, it's totally relatable to what we're reading. So when my father passed away, my mother was really grieving, and this was in 2009. I was going through my separation. So it was a very difficult, challenging, heartbreaking time, not to losing my father, but in the same breath, losing my marriage. And in the same breath, having to move countries from Delhi back to Manchester. So I was in a complete dilemma as to what I should do. So, right or wrong, I went to this automatic writer in Delhi, and I wanted to get in touch with my father. Now, the first time I did, he gave me a very clear-cut answer after he was found by the other spirit masters. And my father said, move in a heartbeat, move back to Manchester for your mother and give her love, shower her with comfort, because she's looking very depressed and I need to move on. He said it very clearly. I need to move on. So, and he said a lot of other things which were completely pertinent to my life. And I realized that this is something that is so wonderful. He said, I have gone nowhere. He said exactly what the book is saying, that whenever you need something, as in some answer or something, just call out to me. It's like I'm in the other room. I can see you. You may not be able to see me, but you can connect through the vibration. So I said, okay. So there was another question I had to ask. So I did. Now, when we call on the spirits, they have to make an effort to come back. So when he did the second time, and he'd crystallized a lot of my answers. So I just said, Dad, something. And he said, now, Anita, I've given you your answers. Please don't make it a habit to keep calling me, because it's a very difficult one. And plus, I do need to move on in the spirit world, and I need to move to my duties and responsibilities. So therefore, just let me go. But yes, I will always be there to look over you and to look after you. And Guruji had also said, don't keep grieving and grieving and grieving. The grieving has to come to a stop because it's important for the soul to move on. We are hampering the growth and the progress of the spirit that has passed on by grieving and holding on to that heaviness, that heavy energy. So pray for that spirit, in fact, and pray for our grief to also dissolve. Can you help this man move on? Asked Rudra to Baba. Free will, my son. He has chosen this for himself. The light is beckoning him. The master has spoken to him. His loved ones who have passed over before him have also have spoken to him. But he seems to be adamant. He will only move on when his wife gets on with life. And she won't. She has lost the will to move on or make the effort of getting on with life. Remember, we understand the pain of separation, but not at this cost. It's too heavy a price for both, the person on earth and the earthbound one. So Baba, what are you trying to say? Is that still, till Sudha doesn't pass over, this man will be earthbound? Till she doesn't pass over, or till she doesn't let go of her intense grief, or till the man realizes that he's doing neither her any good nor his own soul by stagnating, and he decides to move ahead with his spiritual duties, yes, till then the man is earthbound. You mean if a person is in such a chronic state of mourning, the spirit remains earthbound? What a funny man you are, beta. What funny but true things you say. Yes, your choice of words, chronic state of mourning, is apt, though. See, beta, there are various reasons for a spirit to be earthbound. What you see with Sudha and Sanjeev is one of them. The person on earth is so shattered and in a perpetual state of mourning that the spirit of the loved one who has passed on is emotionally chained and becomes earthbound. So that is one reason. The other reason is that the spirit of the person who has moved on doesn't want to move on, but wants to stay near his near and dear ones. Chooses to be earthbound as the spirit wants to continue living near his earth ones, even though those on earth might not be pulling the spirit towards themselves. Yes, in the end, the final decision rests with the spirit body. To remain or move on depends on the spirit and its state of evolvement. So even if those on earth aren't in a perpetual state of mourning, the spirit might still want to be with them for whatever reason. So ranging from love or helplessness or a false sense of duty. So being earthbound depends largely on the spirit, yes, but those on earth can make it very easy or hard on the spirit to move on or to stay. Come on, let me show you how it can be made easy. Rudra found himself in front of Stella. Rudra smiled. Stella was in reality a close friend of his parents, but she and Rudra had gotten along like a house on fire, till Rudra's life fell apart, and he moved away from civilization. Stella had really pulled down and aged considerably. Rudra spent time with Stella and looked around the house. He wondered where Derek had disappeared. Usually, both Derek and Stella were like twins joined at the hips. Derek's life revolved around Stella. Rudra turned and saw Derek standing next to him with a huge smile on his face. He looked at least 20 years younger than what he remembered Derek. Also, Derek's hair was jet black and long. Hello, Rudra. When did you pass over? Rudra, for a long time, stared at Derek. He had lost the plot for a while. What the hell? You're dead too, Derek? Derek smiled. They don't use the word dead out here, Rudra. You should know that by now. Yes, passed over is a funny word. So when the hell did you pass over into heaven? You did pass over into heaven, I hope. Heaven and hell are a state of mind, Rud. Bugger you, Steph. Stop speaking like a spirit and talk to me like a man, for God's sake. Like a man. Derek smiled. He looked at Stella. She seemed to have pulled down quite a bit. Derek, yes, she has. And how has she taken your passing over? Thankfully, like a wise darling. I mean, if she had broken down and begun to slide into depression and all those dark emotions, I don't think I could have moved on. I mean, you know, Ruth, I never left her for a day. She's my life. You are dead as a doornail, Derek. So will you please stop speaking about life and all that? Both of them beamed with laughter. So it's very interesting, again, not to slide into depression. Of course, when, our loved one passes on, like my mother, my father, when they passed on, especially with my mother, I what happened? Can you hear me? Somebody muted.
Yeah, now can.
Where did you miss me?
Just one line before, when you were just talking about your parents.
Oh, Lord, really? That's a long time ago.
No, just now, just half a second back. Yeah.
So when I was grieving over Dad, it was easier because the grief actually stopped when I got the wisdom that he needs to move on, and also because I still had my mother. And then I was given a responsibility to take care of my mother back in Manchester, moving back from Delhi to UK. So therefore, the grieving didn't last too long. But when Mum passed away, the grieving lasted forever. And even though I had the wisdom, but I didn't have the strength maybe or the courage to move on, it was just too much to take. And then I was left in a quandary. Should I stay in UK? Should I move back to Delhi? So there was a lot of changes, constant changes were coming about. Now I was almost sliding into depression myself. But, with the aid of Guruji, his spirituality, his strength that he gave me, I slid back into a mode of wanting to live on. So it was very tough. But, with his grace, I did move on. And I know that my mom and dad are always with me, no matter what. So they never leave. But you need to let them leave to the best of their wisdom that they have in that spirit form. So both of them beamed with laughter. But it's a fact, Ruth, prayers and getting on with your life are the best gifts you can give your loved ones. Yes, sure, mourn. Yes, there will be tears. Yes, there will be depressions. Sadness is fine, but to a point, a limit. One can't slide into darkness and adopt a dismal attitude and helpless weeping with no sign of moving on with life. So of course, cry, grieve. If Stella hadn't got on with her life, I don't think I could have moved on in the spirit world either. I come so very often to see her, and she feels me. She's doing now is something she knows I love. I thank her for not changing her schedule and lifestyle. I really thank her for continuing to love me, but to still love life. She has gone about her life with sadness, but with dignity. And that is very important for us in the spirit world. I meet her very often, spend time with her. I know she can sense me. She talks to me throughout the day. The room filled up with Chopin's haunting melody, the music, Chopin. The room filled up with Chopin's haunting melody. The music and the colors were so sharp that Rudra for a while was overwhelmed with the sheer beauty of it all. He didn't seem to be getting used to the newfound richness of the spirit world. Rudra saw Stella settle herself on the sofa. She shut her eyes, and Rudra could see the change taking place in her aura. She was calming herself down. She was consciously grounding herself and focusing on her breathing, which in turn began to soothe her aura. Her aura calmed down, and Rudra realized that now for Derek to connect with her, to make her feel his presence, was relatively much easier. It made sense. We prevent grace from entering into our orbit and our personal universe. Stella began to chop salad. There was a strange look about her. Rudra saw Derek seat himself next to Stella, and then their auras merged. After a few seconds, like the sun slowly coming out of a cobweb of clouds, Stella's eyes began to sparkle, and a smile formed on her lips. Rudra looked at them both. She had a faraway look. She knew Derek was around. She could sense his presence. For a long while, Rudra saw their auras blissfully entwined, and then he found himself on the veranda of their cabin, seated next to Baba, who passed him a chillum filled with tobacco. Grief, guilt, ignorance. This is the synopsis. Grief, guilt, ignorance, anger, lust, possessiveness. These emotions are dark clouds. They build very heavy vibrations. They do not allow the soul to move towards the light. They prevent the master's energy from merging with the individual or the spirit. So it's very important to make note of this. that it's important to let go of grief as soon as. But of course, cry, denial is also a bad thing. Cry, grieve, but move on. They were back on the veranda of the cottage. The sea looked majestic. The clouds were so sharp and mystifying that Rudra wondered how he could have ever lived in a body without experiencing such grandeur. It's also simple, beta. If you want to feel the energy of your master or your loved ones, you need to be calm and receptive. If you want grace, you need to be calm and receptive. For inspiration, grace, blessings, communication, healing, paranormal powers, Kundalini rising, simple happiness, art or love. For anything pressed with divinity, one needs to be in a state of receptiveness. Beta, the law of karma leaves none. Lord Rama and Lord Goddess Sita had to go through 14 years of exile. And then after reunion, once again, they had to live separately for the rest of their lives due to their karmic ramifications, either theirs or for karmic balancing of those who depended on them. But the Lord and Goddess even had to go through hardship, pain, sorrow, separation, allegations, and all emotional hardships, as that was part of the karmic blueprint. Like Jesus, he too took on the karmic cleansing of his flock. Each one who is born has to settle his or her karmic debt and hopefully try to finish it off as fast as possible, as then the individual can really begin on his spiritual journey. Not only his or her karmic debt, very often the karmic debt of a loved one too. And in case of a master, karmic cleansing of millions of those who depend on him. The faster the karmic cleansing, the more painful it is. When an individual with the council of masters has come to the conclusion that in this particular lifetime, one needs to be cleansed of all karmic give and take, as from the next lifetime, one need not come back in the body, but can continue the journey in the spirit plane itself. Then rest assured, this particular lifetime is going to be one roller coaster ride. Don't we know it? Where the individual is going to burn in the fire that shall blaze away all pending karma. When I had cancer, in 2012, it was first diagnosed. Then I had 2 tumors. And then in 2014, I had another tumor. Then I had autoimmune disease and so on and so forth. I just felt, wow, I've really chosen a very difficult karmic journey. But each time I have to say, and we are so blessed to have Guruji in our lives, each time the impact was lessened, the intensity, the duration, the emotional baggage. It was a huge learning of letting go and just loving and being calm and receptive to what was and to accept with grace. And that grace, that acceptance can only come through Guruji's grace. It cannot be otherwise, because we are mere mortals. We can react. We can kind of fall and slide into, a mode of self-pity and be in a state of victimhood. But the victim turns into victor when we really, give the reins of our lives to his supremacy, to his grace. So for the larger good of the individual, this reducing to ashes of his or her karmic debt is mandatory and beneficial. But the individual going through such harrowing karmic cleansing and hard experiences doesn't remember that all obstacles, pain, sorrow, and misery of the body, mind, and heart are really best for the soul and decided upon by the individual when in the spirit plane. The individual has forgotten, so the individual very often starts getting negative, harsh, angry, frustrated, depressed, and even becomes an atheist. And instead of going through karmic cleansing calmly and with positive surrender, the individual begins to fight it and begins to build more karma. So when we react, we're actually building more karma. So if we react to our mother-in-law or husband or children, we're actually, that reaction is building more karma. So this is something, so more reactivity equals more karma. So this is something that is very good to take home with us today. The karmic cleansing is going to take place, but unfortunately, the individual has again built up new karma. Hopefully, that karmic debt isn't too large and can be worked on in the spirit plane, or else back to Mother Earth for another good karmic wash. Beta, so accept your lot gracefully. Yes, strive to make things better, And always give your best, always stand up for your self-respect. But after giving it your all, leave the rest to the wisdom and grace of your master. So you do your best and let Guruji do the rest. Often sickness, poverty, strife, matrimonial disharmony, sibling rivalry, not getting one's due at work or at home or in life very often is part of the karmic cleansing process. Do your best and leave the rest to your master and accept your lot with grace. This is best for all of us. For every day of disharmony, a million days and nights of bliss await you. So don't get negative, bitter, depressed, defeatist. Keep chanting your master's name and keep calm and know that this lifetime is really like a blink of an eye, and an eternity of bliss awaits those who live with a state of graceful acceptance. This is the biggest life lesson for all of us, graceful acceptance. But Baba, what does one do about the mind, thoughts and raging emotions and pent-up frustrations? Baba, do you know why many people break a coconut before entering the temple? And the coconut which is broken is not the drinking variety. Yes, the brown one with hair on it is an offering to the gods. You think the gods really need coconuts to be broken to be kept happy? When an individual breaks a coconut without really understanding the purpose, for us it means a waste of a coconut, waste of a meal for somebody who's poor and hungry. The real reason for breaking a coconut is simple. Observe the coconut. It looks like a head and a face. If you remove the husk or hair from it, you will see it looks like a face, the round, strong head, and below 2 eyes and a mouth. Yes, I know I had a friend who looked like a peeled coconut. Your friend is now a very wealthy man who is doing a lot of noble work for the poor, but that's beside the point. The coconut looks like a head. By breaking a coconut in front of one's God or master, one is actually trying to tell the master, this is my head, and here, I have broken it and surrendered it and respect to you. Why would a master want his disciple to break his or her head? Oof, I sure would like to break your astral head sometimes. By breaking the coconut, the disciple is trying to tell the master, I have broken my head. No more head means no more mind of my own, no more thoughts, no more intellectual nonsense. Thus, nothing to prevent my total surrender, as total surrender only takes place when one functions only from a heart chakra. So when you break the coconut, you're actually telling your master, I will not use my head anymore, and I will not allow thoughts to come between you and I. Oh, okay. I see now. That is why very often you used to tell me to break the coconut, and I would wonder whether I had lost it or you had. Oh, Holy One with the coconut philosophy. Baba Chakra. Break the coconut means the head, which means to do away with ego and thoughts and all those tendencies that originate from the mind. Zoroastrians believe in God thoughts, good words, good deeds, good words and good deeds. Words and deeds originate from thoughts, and thoughts originate from the small mind. And this small mind resides in the head. And thus break the damn coconut. When you break a coconut, you basically are pledging to break away from the mind and thoughts and ego and that reside in the mind, and do away with the hard shell of false individuality known as the ego. Only then does it make sense to break the coconut, when you understand its significance. So things should not be done ritualistically for the sake of being done, like Hindus are conditioned with a myriad of rituals. But I think we need to understand why we do something. I will give you a very good example of today that's happening in satsangs also with Guruji's Meher. That, I know samosa prasad is served in Bari Mandir, but when somebody does something a little out of line, instead of samosa prasad, they will serve dokla. They suddenly look aghast. The thing is that nothing should be made ritualistic. We should not become rigid in our worshipping of any god, and particularly Guruji, because he actually came to teach us and to remove us from that superstition and ritualistic kind of practice. He said, "मैं practical ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ दिखाना है कि रब है." So don't get into this mode of, oh, samosa prasad, he serve karna, or laddu prasad, he serve karna. I'm just giving a very inane example. It means just love him and serve him anything with love. So not to again get caught up in the chains of superstition and ritualism. It's very important to be kind of let your energy flow with love. Now go on, said Baba. Go make me your ghastly tea. For a while, they sat on the veranda, and then they began to stroll on the beach. Their feet never touched the ground, but it still seemed perfectly normal. Here and there, Rudra saw a gathering of spirits, bowing or praying, facing Baba. Baba, how come I have not come across any negative spirits or ghosts or bad spirits, as we call them, when we are happily going about life in our bodies without having meddling masters pull the plug away from unsuspecting disciples? You weren't happy in that body, and you are having a time of your life, so stop grumbling, said Baba. Negative spirits can't come where the vibration is throbbing with intensity of prayers or where the masters frequent. Therefore, Guruji used to say, कि mantra jap kar de jao, because not only does that lift our vibration, it lifts, it keeps the negative spirits away from us. It's very important to understand this concept because, we are surrounded by the invisible. But when, we are in that high vibrational state through the mantra jap, Om Namah Shivaya Shruti Sadasai, then it keeps the negativity at bay. You weren't happy in that body and you were having a time of your life, and now you are having a time of your life. So stop grumbling. Negative spirits can't come where the vibration is throbbing with intensity of prayers or where the masters frequent. When you pray with intent and focus and with complete surrender, there is a shift of energy. And like a bulb is lit, and like a bulb is lit, after plugging it into the working socket, the darkness vanishes, depending upon the intensity or voltage of the bulb. The same way when you pray and you're focused and completely plugged into the universal socket, darkness has to vanish. As the light within you and in your aura will start to get stronger. More focused your meditation and prayers, more voltage is possible. As the bulb can take the circuit and energy, and thus more light is spread, and thus darkness is reduced to a great extent. Till the day comes when the voltage is so powerful and the bulb within you has become so strong that all darkness is vanquished. There are prayers and rituals given to mankind by prophets, sages, Sufis, and mediums to help individuals get rid of darkness. All these secrets are within each individual. The more you chant your master's name or say your prayers or meditate or just come into a state of acceptance, nature begins to reveal its secrets to you. But it's important that you are calm and in a positive surrender and acceptance. This keeps coming up, like Guruji used to say, calm, positive surrender and acceptance. Otherwise, all prayers and all meditations are useless. You haven't plugged the wire attached to the bulb into the socket. The wire, the bulb, and the socket need to be kept clean and in working order. The individual's state of acceptance, inward and outward behavior, the desire to be on the right path and hurt nobody, and the discipline of prayer and meditation are a must, the wiring and the bulb. And once all this is in place, the socket, the universal energy throb, will automatically transmit energy and light and vibrations. Remember, your problems might not go away, but you will have the strength and wisdom to calmly go through whatever your destiny and your master have in store with you. Sip of tea. I hope you're enjoying it and imbibing and also learning from this
Yes,
stuff.
Auntie.
Wonderful. Yeah, there's so much to learn. So it comes back to positive surrender and calmness. Remember, our problems might not go away. So problems actually don't ever go away. Like this morning, last night, as you know, I'd gone for the IPL and there was an extreme climatic conditions because outside it was extremely humid. And then I would go back into the box to get the food or whatever. And it was extremely cold. The AC was so all night, literally, I was wide awake and I was doubting getting up in the morning because at 6 in the morning, because I didn't sleep literally all night. At 6 in the morning, I finally took Panadol and it made me drowsy. My Wi-Fi comped off. I mean, what not? And then I thought, how am I going to read? But you know, his denials are not his delays. So we just delayed it by an hour and a half. And meanwhile, Guruji's Jal Prashad, and of course, it's all him, brought me back to life again and brought back the Wi-Fi to life. So when you're on the path, God help those who help themselves. When you really want help, He will always give help, and He will not let His work get hampered. So He is the best, as we know. He is the best, truly. So it's very important to have that tunnel vision only towards Him. कहते थे संगत जितनी बढ़ेगी, थोड़ा सा confusion भी होगी, arrogance भी आएगी लोगों में. But honestly, our real challenge is that when we come across such people, we need to still rise above that vibration also, and to continue to throb on His vibration. It is very important to overlook and not react to people's arrogance or ego or whatever it may be. Because, when that sense of authority comes in anybody, I feel that they become arrogant. And our challenge is not to react to that authority and arrogance. I mean, we see it all around us. And that's why humility and asking Guruji to keep us in his charan and, Rakhi Channa they call. It is so vital, because we don't want to lose the way because of a few people who are become egotistical, being in Guruji's, whatever it may be, Jai Guruji. So the wiring and the bulb and once all this is in place, the more, actually, I just want to say, the more we are on this path, the more challenges will come our way to test our faith and our strength and courage to just stay on the path. The socket, the universal energy throb, will automatically transmit energy and light and vibrations. Remember, your problems might not go away. They never do. But you will have the strength and wisdom to calmly go through whatever your destiny and your master have in store for you. Don't ask for your troubles to go away. Just pray that you are given strength, wisdom, calmness, joy to handle and accept whatever is in your lot. Positive surrender, courage, and happiness. That's all you need to ask for. Pray for the right thing. Don't go to a doctor and ask for pesticide. Ask for medicine. Your illness may be so chronic, so don't pester the doctor for a cure. Ask for relief or medication to calm the nerves. If the cure is possible, you will be cured. If the cure needs 10 months of medication, you will get the medication. If there is no cure, you will be given medication to ease the pain. But be ready to accept whatever you get over the cosmic medical counter. How well put. As whatever you are given over the cosmic counter is the best medicine that you can be given for your overall well-being. So don't ask for miracles. Like Guruji used to say, Chamatkar nu namaskar anda. Don't ask for miracles. Ask you yourself, make yourself the miracle of acceptance, courage, joy, and calmness. How beautiful. So each one of us has to work on ourselves and become the miracle of surrender and courage, calmness, and joy, and complete and absolute love, I would say. And compassion towards others, even those who are hurting us. We need to just not react, but respond with calmness and compassion. Remember, when a person is in a karmic quicksand by fighting, struggling, creating mayhem, you're only going to sink within faster. And even if there is a way out, you won't see it. Karmic quicksand can be best handled calmly. By fighting, fretting, and fuming, you're going to go faster with more agony. You're going to go in faster with more agony. Through calmness, a solution will come about. You won't sink. You might even avoid going in further. The slower you go in, the better the chances of survival. Somebody could pass by and give you a helping hand. Even if the solution isn't available, and karmically you have to go under and have to be enveloped by the quicksand. Trust me, with prayers and calmness and positive surrender, you won't feel any discomfort. You will reach a stage where you will welcome the embrace of Mother Earth within. 9 out of 10 times, a solution will come about and you will be saved. And you will come into firm land. But I say, even if you were to go under, do so in a manner that makes your master happy and proud of you. Then one can say proudly, I love my master. And he's the only one that matters, and nothing else matters, as long as I can keep him happy and proud of me. That is called the master's voice. Speaking the language, the master really loves you. Everybody wants to change destinies and planetary positions and get prayers to ease their pain and discomfort. That's normal and understandable. But a true child of the master says, bring it on, bring more pain and hardship and more discomfort. And let me see if I can still make my master happy and proud of me by my conduct and my sense of calmness, courage, positive surrender, and joy. I say, pray that. Let me be finished with my karmic cleansing. So never say, why me? Say, try me. Never say, why me? Just say, try me. I can take upon this with my Guruji's grace. Let the karmic cleansing get over in this lifetime, and let every second be horrible and discomforting and chaotic and painful and filled with misery. Bring it on. Let me be finished with it. All in this lifetime. But Master, let me still make you proud and happy of me by conducting myself in a manner that makes you smile and makes you do a jig, knowing that you have a lover and a child and a disciple and a slave and a servant and a friend and everything rolled into one, who just wants to keep you happy and proud. Let the spouse give you grief, and let the kids abhor you, and let the business partner cheat you out of your life's work, and let the world mock you, and let disease haunt you, and let poverty grind you. Let every single moment be a glimpse of hell. But help me to pray, Guruji, and let me smile and be in a state of positive surrender and face whatever my destiny and you have in store for me. Gracefully, with humor, with content, with a spring in my stride, for my purpose and destiny and aim and desire is to only make you and only you happy and proud of me. So be it. My son, when you love like this, infallible, indestructible, unending, relentless love for your Guru, the master smiles and says, the kid has begun to learn now. Good. I'm loving it. Ha ha. So beta, break the couplet and become a shameless lover of the master and care nothing for discomfort and pain and annihilation and taunts. Yes, keep your self-respect always high, not ego, self-respect. There's a fine line. I think we forget. There's a fine line between ego and self-respect. It's very important to hold on to self-respect. Something I had forgotten and let go many years ago. I think Guruji brought it back to make me realize ego ek cheez hai, self-respect dusri cheez hai. Don't let people just bully you for no rhyme or reason. Don't let them bring you down for no rhyme or reason. That is, playing with your self-respect. Ego is no matter what, you just send them, compassion. Dissolve your ego. Don't let your ego be hurt. That means we're egotistical. But yeah, self-respect, nobody has the right to touch upon our self-respect. Live with dignity. Move away from the people who hurt you. But don't send them bad vibes. Send them love, unconditional love and compassion. Because they too are in darkness. They haven't come to a place of learning humility. Good, I'm loving it. So, beta, break the coconut, become a shameless lover of the master and care nothing for discomfort and pain and annihilation. And keep your self-respect intact, not ego. And if you feel you can't keep your self-respect high, as you can't get out of the situation, marriage, relationships, whatever, then leave it to the master and breathe to make the master happy and proud of you. Then accept even abuse with a smile and a prashad, because the master is watching. So in time, things will level out. Let go of everything but the knowledge that your master really is with you, and you can make him very happy or sad by your thoughts, words, and actions. If you take every person who tries to hurt you as an instrument of the master to make you grow and convert the incident as an opportunity to make him proud of you, every misfortune as an opening to make him happy of you and for you to pay off your karmic debts. Every tear shed silently in total acceptance is a pearl which shall adorn your master. Every calamity, a special attention from the master towards you, so that you can quickly finish off the earthly balance sheet and be with him eternally. Then, my son, all is well and good. You are truly on the path, and your master is your world and your universe and your breath and your purpose of existence. I want that out of each child of mine. That is the only thing I desire of you, my son. So don't ask for miracles. Synopsis. Make yourself the miracle. Make yourself the miracle. This is so beautiful. Each one of us should make ourselves a miracle of acceptance, courage, joy, calmness, self-respect. So when Sangat sees us, they see an embodiment of self-respect, acceptance, surrender, calmness, love, compassion, humility. We should be an embodiment of that and make Guruji so proud of us. जब कहते थे मन्नो मंगो नहीं तो मांगो कि गुरुजी, give me that dignity, give me that humility, give me that compassion. मैं सिर्फ देने के हाथों, लेने के हाथों, मैं देती जाऊं. Through your light, let your light permeate me and let my darkness be totally dissolved so that I can do your work. Be the light worker. Ask to be the light worker. So I'm going to just, while you reflect on this, I'm going to request just 1 minute's break so you can have your tea and I can just take a little bathroom break for a minute since I'm really struggling with my sinuses today. Just 1 minute if I can. Thank you. Rita? Hi, I'm back. It is, I just needed your permission to, I know we finish in like 15 minutes. Is it okay to go on for half an hour more? Is it okay to finish at Dubai time 2:15 instead of 2? Please let me know if that is okay. It's very
I think, Auntie, let's do it tomorrow longer because we have a Singapore satsang which is on. So most of the people join there.
Okay, so we'll finish at 2. Yeah, we still have 15 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
So don't ask for miracles. Make yourself the miracle of acceptance, courage, joy, and calmness. The beautiful aspect of the spirit world is that all is simple. If the soul really wants to progress, then all is revealed. There is no ambiguity about anything unless the individual doesn't want to let go of past lives, immense baggage, and preset conditioning of the mind. But if one is in a state of acceptance, that everything falls into place. The best part of it all is that there is no scope for the blame game or no mystery to the intricacies of relationships, and no room for poor me syndrome. The karmic blueprint is shown to each one who wants to progress. And the karmic blueprint makes everything clear regarding everything the individual has gone through and is still going through. Of course, the sad part is that once we are reborn, this knowledge of the karmic blueprint is buried deep within one's consciousness. And only those who are calm and in the moment have recourse to dip into the vast ocean of cause and effect. That is why meditation, prayer, and being in the state of acceptance are a must. Then you keep getting a glimpse of one's reality and the road ahead and what one needs for the journey and what needs to be immediately abandoned. So what's bothering Mr. Rudra? A lot is bothering me, O grey sage, who needs to work on his sense of humor. Please elaborate, O confused one. Well, for one, my body is devoid of any pulse, and my master wants to elaborate, so I will. For instance, this whole business of karmic blueprint is rather sticky. Not as sticky as the tea you make, even in the spirit zone. Come on, focus now. Focus, please. What I'm trying to say is simple. What if a person is not into meditation and prayers and being in the state of acceptance and all that? Spiritual hippie jazz. Then what? Does that mean that the individual has to go about life not aware of his or her core issues that need to be addressed. Oh, my son, who goes through lifetimes devoid of all rationality? Why would nature be so ruthless? The sun shines in sinner and sage. God, nature, cosmos, whatever you want to name the energy, it keeps giving signals and roadmaps to each individual. How beautiful. So like Guruji used to say also, I have to, whoever comes to me, be the sage or the sinner, I have to bless everyone. Now the point is, we are nobody to judge that, oh, in a satsang even, there's a sinner sitting. And how can he be sitting? Ya satsang mein nahi kalyan hoga to kahan hoga? So never judge. Judge your own journey and really focus on your own journey. What matters is our own positive surrender, calmness, and love. Nothing else matters. The other person, the other sangat, are not, there to be judged. They're also there on the path. They may be on step one. We don't know. Guruji used to say, "Sab alag alag class mein hai," but that's for him to know. God, nature, cosmos, whatever you want to name the energy, it keeps giving signals and roadmaps to each individual. But the problem is that mankind is so caught up with the mundane that there is no time for really addressing core issues. I am all for doing one's duty, but so many people use fancy reasons and words like dharma and karma and duty and responsibilities to put their heads in the sand and negate and ignore and overlook the most important need of the soul, that is to evolve and keep moving towards the light and eventually become the light. When everything you say or do or think is an offering to your master, no matter how mundane or otherwise, and there is no scope for anger or being lost or caught up, the individual is then always with the master and with the energy. Be preparing a breakfast for the family or cleaning the toilet seat. If done as an offering to one's God and master, then the individual is in perpetual seva or service to the master. And then like a lotus, one is in the world, but not of it. Then everything becomes meditation and joy, and there is no room for acrimony or negativity. And then the right questions are asked and pertinent answers deciphered. Life is simple, beta. It's mankind who makes it complicated. We look at our house pet and say, what a great life it's leading. No, they know their priorities, love their master and the family, play with the kids, eat whatever an opportunity arises. Guard the home. Priority, beta, is the key to happiness. If each one was to calmly sit down and write down or consider what is that individual's priority. Yes, an individual may have a main priority for a few other priorities and then ask, what am I doing to reach my priority? And then make another list as to what is needed to be done to reach one's priority. And then move towards achieving that. Trust me, a lot of shadow boxing and unnecessary pain and conflict will disappear. If your priority is making money, then you are doing something about it. And if not, what is needed to do something about it? Trust me, automatically you will be focused. It may take time, but you will get nearer your dream. If making God and your master happy and proud is your priority, then what are you doing about it? Automatically, your thoughts, words, and actions will become different. You will think, speak, and perform only that which makes your master happy and proud of you. And to accept your lot gracefully definitely makes your master happy and proud of you. Automatically, you will accept your situation, circumstances, pain, agony, everything gracefully. And trust me, more than 90% of your sorrow will disappear, as now you know that to accept gracefully means making your master happy. And to make him or her happy is your priority, and then you're moving towards your priority. And thus all is well in heaven and earth. And life becomes so much lighter. And as you say, groovier. But if you say making your master happy is your priority, and you are always unhappy about everything and hate your circumstances and situations and are causing conflict with yourself and the world, then you're not making your master happy, which means either that isn't your priority or you don't love your master enough to move towards your priority. But if you really love your master, you will rise and walk towards him, beta. If each individual would honestly sit down, write down his or her strengths, weaknesses, limitations, aspirations, and priorities, and then decide how to use one's strength and how to keep away from things that he or she knows or his or her limitations or weaknesses, just move towards one's priority, then life becomes simple. Stop shadow boxing with yourself. Know yourself first. Accept your strengths and limitations and move towards your priorities. Trust me, life will become simple. Suppose an individual has an issue with alcohol and sex, but the child wants to overcome these issues. First and foremost, the individual should ask an honest question. Can I overcome these issues in this lifetime? Yes or no? If yes, then how does one go about overcoming them? No shadow boxing. If the answer is no, I can't completely overcome them, but I would like to keep in check, then how does one go about this? Instead of abstaining for months and then getting sucked into the depths of addiction or weakness, maybe the individual realizes that moderation is the key to keep the demons at bay. So instead of either complete abstinence or overindulgence, the individual resorts to moderation. Drinks maybe a little each day, and instead of sleeping with every stranger on the street, indulges himself or herself once in a while. What the individual achieves is moderation. He or she hasn't completely overcome the addictions or weaknesses, but at least the individual has got a greater control over his or her life now. Now, it's like that. Guruji also used to say the middle path. Even Buddhism says the same thing, the middle path. So moderation is the key to happiness, not abstinence. But how could I know what my issues are and what needs to be handled, Baba? By being blunt and honest with yourself. The moment you're truly in search of the truth will set you free. Of course, most issues come from past lifetimes. Come. Next moment, Baba and Rudra are in a mountain range. There is snow all around. The wind blows ferociously and makes a sound, which to a mortal must surely be deafening. There is a small cave nearby. Baba walks into the cave. Rudra follows. There is a fire burning. An elderly Native American is seated in the cave. He's seated in front of the fire. He's an old man, very old. Long white hair reaches his thin shoulders. He wears a fur coat. There is a pipe next to him. He stares into the fire. Rudra looks at him. He knows this man. God love a flying duck. That's me. Baba smiles. We have regressed a century or more, right? Baba nods. You had shown me this lifetime 10 years ago? Yes. I want you to go back 10 years and relive this particular lifetime. Why go back to relive? Because that will take a little longer and I can sit calmly and smoke a pipe with you in that lifetime. You can? Of course I can. You can too. But like most children, you are still clinging to your 3D version of reality. Release yourself of all restrictions and you shall be able to be with yourself in every lifetime at the same time and still not be able to make a decent cup of tea in any lifetime. Ha ha. Of all the sages, I get one who smokes a pipe and has a very unheavenly sense of humor. Okay, my Baba, so now what? Now, travel back to the time when we showed you why you were carrying one of the many crosses you so love to carry. And in a second, Rudra is back in his parents' home. The last but not the least synopsis of what we read today is, I am all for doing one's duty. But so many people use fancy reasons and words like dharma and karma and duty and responsibilities to put their heads in the sand and negate and ignore and overlook the most important need of the soul. That is to evolve and keep moving towards the light and eventually become the light. When that becomes our priority and our prayer that Guruji take me towards the light, then all the negativity will dissolve. Thank you so much for today, and we will be back. We are doing very well, by the way. Maybe we will finish on Monday, but we will see. No rush. Even if we have to use just half an hour on Tuesday, we shall do so. It is quality over quantity. So any questions or any comments or any feedback, please don't hesitate.
Anybody has any question or anything you want to ask, Auntie?
No? Okay.
No, Auntie.
Thank you. And we will see you tomorrow, same time. Tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow we'll do 12 noon. Is that okay with everyone? 12 noon as in Dubai time. And yours will be, Delhi time will be.
1:30. 1:30.
Is that okay, everyone? Actually, no. Sorry. I don't want to commit. So can we just do 12:30 tomorrow, Dubai time? So yours time will be 2 p.m.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, 12:30.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
12:30 is fine. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Auntie.
So,
Jai
God
Guruji.
bless you. Bye.